Hi, I'm Aisha with an I. And you join me today for Storytime Sunday. It's Storytime Sunday. So sit down on the floor and cross your legs, cause I'm about to entertain you today. Today's story is about why I'm saving the burrowing owls. It all began 3 years ago when I was watching Scrotal Recall on Netflix.
Scrotal Recall is lovesick.
They didn't like the title?
There was something about that show.
You've tested positive for chlamydia.
That doesn't sound positive.
Something about that soundtrack.
I love you.
That caused me to descend into a deep, meditative trance. Where I met God. And in doing so, I remembered who I was. Who I used to be. I used to be.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ.
Jesus!
Jesus?
Jesus!
Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus!
What's Jesus?
Jesus. Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus! Jesus! Jesus!
Jesus.
Jesus. That's right. I'm back with some upgrades for rounds 3. The life of redemption, where I finally achieve balance as I lead us all towards world peace. But that also means that it's the apocalypse.
We have not seen temperatures like this in at least 7 years.
The strongest storm in decades.
The first time in more than a decade.
Shark sightings are up.
Oh, shit.
And that Judgment Day is upon us soon. And in this meditative trance, all of the data that I absorbed throughout my entire life like a sponge got twisted into a chaotic ball of confusion suddenly aligned. And I could remember that I knew it was the apocalypse. I had seen the bleached reefs in Indonesia growing up, and the swarms of jellyfish, and my teachers telling me that my generation would be the generation to save us all.
Sorry we left you with our mess of a planet.
And now they're saying it's the next generation, but I really don't have faith in them. You guys, sorry.
Sorry.
I do. I mean, I totally do. You guys are totally going to, save everyone else who's just going to fart around and be like, up to you.
It feels wonderful not caring about climate change.
Anyway, the California fires,
Heavenly Father, please help us.
the earthquake warnings.
This is an exponential energy release.
Could that be when Judgment Day happens? And at the same time, I could feel the tremors from underneath the Earth's surface in my own body. It was coming! The mega quake was coming! And that's when I came out with the vision, shaking, with only one thought burned into my mind. I need to save everyone. But in the next couple days, I started to have doubt. I started to question everything. Did I make it all up? Is it really the apocalypse? Why would God tell me this now? He didn't even tell me when. When is the megaquake happening? And why would he tell me if I wasn't supposed to prepare? And what does one do to prepare for the megaquake? When the megaquake hits, is it Judgment Day? What happens on Judgment Day? To answer all my questions, I turned to the one source I turned to pretty much answer all my questions. Google. it's hard to Google it. Is it the apocalypse? If that is not apocalyptic, I don't know what is. Everything's dying. So I Googled the megaquake. And apparently, where I live is in between two massive impending earthquakes. One of them is supposed to occur because of the Cascadia Fault, which is underneath Seattle, and the other is supposed to occur in LA because of the San Andreas Fault. And both of these faults are like this, where the pressure is growing, and it's only a matter of time before it gives and the tectonic plates move. But no one knows when this is supposed to happen. However, I thought, well, I used to be Jesus, and God's telling me this now. It's obviously to prepare me. And if I'm really his favorite, don't I get to pick when it happens? Well, I would rather it happen sooner than later. And I need a few days to prepare. And I want to schedule it around all my meetings. Because you see, I worked at Google at the time, and I was very busy. So I picked Tuesday at 2 p.m. And thus I began to prepare. My first thought is, I can't go up to people and just tell them, hey, turns out I used to be Jesus. And, buckle up. No! It would never work. How would I get all these people outside? I needed to trick them in the best way possible, for the best intentions possible. Aha! A game! So I created a game called Wobble Bobble that we would play using Wobble Bobble. We would make up the rules as we go. Sounds fun, right? Right. I don't know. I've never played it. But it sounded fun enough, it could be my pitch to get people to show up outside. And show up in a safe place, nevertheless. The safest place I could find. Because when I Googled what to do if an earthquake were to happen, well, the first thing is you need to stay away from windows. Well, let me tell you, the building I worked in is made of glass. It is the most dangerous place to be in the case of an earthquake. All right, so we had to be outside for sure. But then the most dangerous part of an earthquake, if you don't get hit by falling debris or glass, is the flood that will happen 20 minutes afterwards because of the quake. And then there's aftershocks and there's more flooding. The best thing you can do is get to high ground. We were nowhere near high ground. So I scoped out all of the Google campus. And I found the perfect spot, the volleyball court at Googleplex, because it was approximately 20 minutes slow walking distance away from a hill that sits behind Googleplex. And upon this hill, there's a trail that spirals around like the shell of a snail, like the Fibonacci sequence, like the golden ratio. It's sacred geometry. Surely, It's a sign that I was on the right path. So I started inviting everyone to come play Wobble Bobble. I created a Google Calendar invite. Every individual in the building I ran into and had a brief moment to talk to, I invited them. Not everyone said yes. So far, my plan wasn't going great because I wanted to save everyone, but I guess I can't save everyone if they don't want me to save them. And a lot of people telling me they were too busy. Too busy to survive. So the day of, I showed up to work early. I put signs, weaving throughout the building, starting from the first floor, going all the way up to the roof, with arrows every which way that you followed. And if you did, and you read the message in between the arrows, it went something like, "Are you ready to wobble?" Follow me. But where am I going? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And WTF is a wobble. Okay, no. Really? Do these arrows even go anywhere? I should probably get back to work. But I do think that an awful lot, especially when I'm having fun. Why do I think that? What am I trying to solve for? Will my work save the world? Or will my project just make more money? They do say that money makes the world go round. But the world actually goes round because the axis of rotation is different from the magnetic poles. Who came up with that saying anyway? Do I even need more money? I already have enough to survive. How do I thrive? Something's not right here. Well, at least I'm invited to play Wobble Bobble. When is it again? Today at 2 p.m. Where? The volleyball court next to the T-Rex at Maine. I'll be there. And I'll finally find out what Wobble Bobble is all about. And then the roof, I put bubble wands to further entice the Googlers to show up to have more fun. 2 p.m. rolled around. The first person to show up was my mom, with my 2 family dogs. That's right. Of course I invited my mom. And of course I invited my family dogs. When I said I want to say, I meant everyone. That includes the animals. Next, my dad came. He also works at Google. Still does. I don't. And then my coworkers started to show up, and suddenly there were 12. Guess what the Bible says about Judgment Day? That there would be 12! I was on the right path. I told them to get in a circle. They all lined up like a clock face. We introduce ourselves, and then I'm sweating at this point. I'm like, it's about to happen. And I tell everyone we're going to begin with a countdown starting from 10. So we go 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm like, is it really going to happen? 3, 2. I'm like, what if it doesn't happen? 1. Nothing happens. My mom says, where's the wobble bubble? I go, it popped. You see, I had no time to blow up the wobble bubble because I was so busy running to REI, getting enough camping equipment for 3 days and 3 nights for 12 people to put on top of this hill. I got 2 tents, 12 sleeping bags, 12 sleeping pads, 12 chairs, camping wood, first aid kit, food. 3 days worth of Chick-fil-A. I was not vegan at the time. I am now. Go vegan.
We're the bad guys.
So I'd been gathering all these supplies, driving them to the top of the hill, so I had no time to blow up the wobble bubble. I lied. And upon doing so, I realized I could not have been Jesus. I might be wrong about the apocalypse. I might be wrong about the megaquakes. Alas, to avoid embarrassment, I asked, does anyone have another ball? And luckily, someone had brought a volleyball. So we pounced around the volleyball for a while, and everything was okay. And people thanked me at the end for getting them outside. So afterwards, I shamefully climb up the hill to collect my supplies. And when I ascend to the top, they're gone. All my supplies are gone. I come back down from the hill wondering, what am I going to do? And I happen to run into the park ranger. I go up to him and I say, hey, I work at Google and I was gonna do like a team bonding event on top of this hill and all my supplies for it are gone. Do you know what happened? Oh, he was not happy. He goes, that was you. Listen, you're not allowed to be having firewood on top of that hill. Do you know what would have happened if you lit that firewood? Thinking in my head, I'm like, well, you know, the quake was gonna hit and then we'd be cold and bored for 3 days. So it'd be cool to tell stories around a campfire. You know, I couldn't give him any of the answers that I had thought up for why we would light the firewood if we had ended up on top of the hill. And he goes, that hill is a recovered landfill. It is full of methane. And I'm like, so we would have gone, boom. We would have survived the megaquake to light our fire in the evening to explode. I see that there was a flaw in my plan. Good thing that megaquake didn't happen, right? The ranger continues and says, if you want your supplies back, you're going to have to go to the Rangsdorf house. I'm telling you though, she is not happy. You're gonna have to go talk to her. I'm like, who's her? I make my way over to the Rangsdorf house. And at the front desk, there is a woman there who turns around and she's Native American. I go up to her and I say, hi, I am the Googler who was doing the team building activity. I heard you have my supplies. And she erupts at me. She goes, you Googlers, you think you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter what's there before you. You guys come out here with your dogs, walking them off the leash. You're feeding the cats, they're devastating the wildlife, and you're killing the burrowing owls. What were you doing with all those supplies on top of that hill? I just burst into tears. There's no way I can explain myself. So I go, I just wanted to get them outside because they're trapped. They're trapped inside and they just so disconnected to the earth and what's happening, and it's terrible, and I didn't even know about the burrowing owls. How can I help? And she sees the look in my eyes and how genuine I am, even though the words coming out of my mouth are not the entire truth. And she says, what's your name? And I go, I'm Aisha. And she says, I'm Isha. It was all not for naught. And from that day on, I have been trying to save the burrowing owls. The end. If you liked that story, be sure to like and subscribe for more Storytime Sundays. I am also going to be creating more tutorials, including more light whip tutorials. If you really liked the temporary tattoos, I designed a whole sheet of them to save the burrowing owls. For $25, this could be yours. It is limited edition. On the back is the first page of the comic about how the owls at Burrowing Owl Billows in Shoreline Park are doing. We've been planting California natives there for the last 3 years. And last season, there were 8 chicks, a record high. So if you want to help out the owls, please check out the description below for more information. I hope you have a great week. Aisha with an I is out.
All right, and now I have gifts for everybody.